begins in 3, 2. And on our side of the house, we are not going to actually debate the minority reasons of how we are going to create these weekends, right? We are going to actually show you the importance of creating these weekends. First thing, we are actually going to show you why it is important for them to be mandatory. One, why this bonding time is actually important. Then, Team Negative will actually have to bring a case against our case, basing on the way we actually characterize this bonding time. Now, final note, holidays are days preserved for certain activities, right? And these are days we are actually going to preserve. Secondly, final, how does bonding time look like on our side of the house? Bonding time doesn't actually mean that parents are going to come and tell their children how much they love them, right? But Pano, notice we say scholars, right? Which means everything should be education related. Now Pano, how is this relevant? We are going to see that students in school have started doing projects, right? They do very many things, they're co-curricular. But then parents have actually not got time to bond with their children as far as this is concerned, right? We believe that it's actually important because a parent should actually get more involved in what their children do, in what each and every of their children does. That is where we actually want to see cases of parents refusing their children to do certain things, let's say football or the other thing. Now, Pani, we see that parents want the best for their children, right? And we believe it's actually going to be possible because the parents are actually going to be able to attend this. Now, Pani, what is the time frame? First of all, we notice that very many things happen in that time, right? So we're actually going to do this beginning from second weekend of the term, right? We believe by this time the child has already stabilized and started on the project. Secondly, we're going to do it on the second last weekend of the term. This is when a parent will actually come and finalize with the progress of the child. Now, Pano, what is happening with this project? The parents are actually going to supervise the projects. They're going to bond with their children as far as that is concerned, right? They're going to participate more in their co-curricular activities because we tell you these co-curricular activities are actually important because they can base on someone's future. Now, Pano, what do we achieve on our side of the house? We see that even if education fails, a parent actually knows how to help their children because they saw them from the basis, right? They saw them participating in these co-curricular activities, in this project. We believe this is actually more relevant because we see projects working in status quo, but then the parents have actually not got more involved. Now, they will tell us that it is the role of the teachers, but we believe it's actually important because even if this child gets out of school, they will still be with their parents. So we cannot say that it is the role of the teachers. And bueno, a school is not a dumping site that if you take a child, you won't have to care about anything. We believe it is important for the parents to monitor. This is actually going to work for both day school and boarding school because projects actually happen at school, right? These projects actually happen at school. So you won't tell us that it's not relevant for the day scholars because even the day scholars go to school. Now, secondly, they will come to talk about VD, but VD has its own reasons. The parents come to visit to bring things, different things. We see that this relevance can't actually be fulfilled on VD because it actually will have to take the parent along to actually supervise, right? And which means if we include this in VD, we will have removed the relevancy of VD. So we are maintaining the relevancy of VD and creating more importance on our side of us. Now, when we will talk about holidays, right? It is not realistic for us to say that parents are going to supervise these projects in holidays, right? Because there is no way you're going to tell a parent, oh hey, supervise the projects. Because one thing we tell you, these projects actually happen at school, and when they are going to supervise these projects, it is the bonding time outside of the house tries to create. Now, funny, they will come and talk about time that the parents are busy and stuff. We tell you a parent knows what's best for their children, and they'll be able to actually sacrifice this weekend, this second weekend of the term, and the second last. We believe this is actually going to be important because it's going to incentivize the child, it's going to give the child morale because they know their parents will always be there to supervise. We see that parents won't actually have to restrict on what the children have to do, right? We see that parents will actually be able to support their children. For example, the co-curricular. You know, some parents actually think that education is the only way, but we believe co-curricular is also important because it can also determine one's future. I'm ready to proceed.
Thank you so much for that wonderful speech. Examination.
Are kids given holidays and visitations?
Yes.
How about parents who have to work on weekends to pay fees?
Sorry?
How about parents who have to work on weekends to pay fees?
It's not every weekend we are making this one.
So you believe that they can supervise them at home, but they can sacrifice every weekend?
We've said the second weekend and the second one. The resolution doesn't say all weekends.
I'm beginning my speech in 3, 2, 1. Panel. Wow. The kind of world being brought to us by Team Farmers is a world that is actually contradicting with the motion we are debating on today. This house believes that weekends should be made mandatory. Mark, weekends should be made mandatory for parents to spend more time with their children. Now try to look at the world. Let's try to relive the world brought to us by Team Farmers, should we? The world brought to us by Team Farmers, they're telling us that they're trying to create a world whereby parents can come and bond and come. Actually, the world there is its own only project. The world is on only bonding time. It's on only that kind of thing. But what kind of problems are we trying to solve by bringing parents to schools on weekends? Try to think of that. They don't show us the impact. They don't show us the urgency of bringing parents onto weekends. That's the first thing. They come and tell us that they want the parents to get more involved in their children's life. They want the parents to get more involved in their children's life. Are parents talking to their children in weekdays? Are they calling their children always to try to ask them for help, try to ask them for material, for money to buy those things? That is one of the things that you guys are not seeing, Team Farmers. Now try to look at the world Team Farmers are bringing us into. Team Farmers tell us that a parent knows how to help their children. This will make a parent to know how to help their children. We're just trying to live their world. The world they're creating is a world whereby parents neglect the bigger problem their children are facing at school and come for the minor problem that even teachers can handle by themselves. What kind of problems are we trying to solve here, dear panel? We're trying to solve problems that are bringing up the moral and immoral attributes of our children, dear panel. When we go to debate their world, we are going to actually get a lot of contradictions. We're going to get a lot of problems. We're going to get a lot of things that are not going to be solved. So let's try to get into our world, dear panel. What world do we bring here to you as Team Farmers, dear panel? This is the Team Negators. First of all, we're showing you what kind of problem is this motion trying to fix. We're saying that in these schools, children are facing social anxiety. Children are facing discrimination. Children are facing problems like anxiety, depression. They're not feeling like they bond into the society. This is the reason to why we were hoping. We thought they were going to come and tell us that that's why we are making weekends mandatory. But this is one thing they contradict on. They don't even see that they are not debating the motion, but they're debating their own world. So we won't debate their world. We're debating our world. First of all, we are going to tell them that, dear Team Farmers, holidays were made there and put there by the government for children and parents to bond. This is one thing you don't see. Holidays were put there for parents and children to bond. And as you said, holidays are specific times that were put up for children and parents to bond. This is one thing that we're looking at as Team Negators. We look that if parents have failed to bond with their own children in holidays, how do you think they will bond with their children during weekdays? How do you think a parent who has not spent time to understand their child during holidays will understand their child during weekdays? This is something you don't see as Team Farmers. Next, we are looking at a world whereby we're trying to create sustainable citizens. Citizens who are going to be mentally stable. They don't look at that. They only look at their projects. But we're telling them to improve on the grading of the children, to improve on the workability of the children. This is why we believe that the time that has been given for our parents is enough. So what we should do is make those weekends more mandatory. Put up an allegiance whereby parents should bond with their children. They ask a question that are their parents work on weekends? You actually say that their parents work on weekends by trying to bring it on. Dearest Team Farmers, you even contradict in your own motion, whereby you say that you're going to put it on 2 specific weekends. The second week of the beginning of the term and the second last week of the ending of the term. Isn't that the time where most visitation days happen? Dearest panel, isn't that the time where most visitation happens? So it's like they're saying that they are encouraging visitation days, but not looking at the motion of making it mandatory. So unless they come and show us the urgency and they come and show us the reasons why they're going to do it, we believe that they are contradicting with their own case, and I stand proud to negate this motion. Thank you. I rest my case.
I require yes or no answers.
If it's relevant.
It's relevant. So is a call enough for you to observe the way someone is doing something?
Parents understand their children more. That's why when they bond with them, I can understand that my child is in an anxiety or depression.
Do you believe that a kid can lie on a call?
Yes. Do you believe a parent can understand their children? Do you think a parent can understand their children?
Is the teacher's role to teach?
It's a is it a parent's role to come and see what the teacher has told? Is it a parent's role to see what the teacher has told? Means it's the role of a parent to come and analyze, assess what the teacher has told, not to come and teach what the teacher is supposed to teach.
Can homesickness cause anxiety and depression?
No, it doesn't cause anxiety and depression. Homesickness by the causes anxiety and depression. That's why we give children holidays. That's why we have holidays. That's why we have holidays, dear respondent.
Thank you. Do you believe that kids spend 9 months at school and 4 months at home?
Do you believe that parents, on an average, I give you an average, yeah? On an
9
average.
months at school, 4 months at home.
How long do you spend time at
What
home?
is your mechanism of change?
What's my mechanism of change? Okay.
Yes, thank you. Now, mechanism of change. I begin by very special. 3, 2, 1. The fact that the team negative has actually refused to understand our way forward in this motion tells us that they have already lost this debate. 1. The motion doesn't say this house believes that all weekends should be made mandatory. It says weekends. It depends on the farmer's characterization to actually say that the second and last weekend, not actually all the weekends, because actually all of us know English and we're actually reading the motion very well. 1. I'm beginning with rebuttal. 1. He talked about social anxiety and discrimination. But then when the third affirmative came and asked the first negative about if there's social anxiety and discrimination at all, he refused to give us an answer. We take that as a yes. So he's talking about that the school. We actually say that schools are not that being said. They actually saying that we ask them if the teacher's role is to teach. They said yes, and we said in Alpha that the parents are not actually coming to teach. They're actually coming to get involved more. They're actually going to the progress of the child, not actually to teach as they are telling us that we are saying. So. They talked about, they asked us a question if all parents work on on weekends. Yes, we answered yes, because we know they work on, but they don't work on all weekends. That's why we are designating the second weekend and the second last weekend too. Bonding. We actually characterize bonding as in being involved in what a child does, seeing the talents, seeing what is actually good for the child. So if the parent sees that there is social anxiety or discrimination, because the parent wants what's best for his child, you actually see a better way of solving it during this weekend. So impact analysis. How is this actually going? How is it going to impact the stakeholders? What is the stakeholder in this case? Stakeholder in this case are the scholars. How are they going to impact it? We're actually going to see that our effort is actually going to help the children, even after dropping out. They're actually going to that one of the major cases of school dropouts is because lack of schools are not able. We're actually going to that if the parents get involved more in the children's talents, because some parents limit their children because to do talents because they actually think those talents are not good for them. But if the parents have actually seen those talents, we can actually see that even after dropouts, they actually make money through these talents. They can actually do a lot of stuff. So comparative analysis, we are comparing the world whereby we are giving parents to the second weekend and the second last weekend in the term actually bonding to get involved in what children does and actually getting started. And the world whereby we are sticking to the holidays. In a world whereby we are sticking to the holidays. One, we show you that in our world they're actually remaining with the holidays and they're actually having the weekends. The holidays are going to specifically remain for the bonding time that they're actually advocating for. And then the weekends are actually going to be the bonding time, so what the child is involved more and seeing what that we are actually going to that. The child is going to do what he loves. Actually going to that the person in their world they're actually seeing that there is no progress because the child is still. I rest my case by saying this house believes that weekends should be made mandatory days for scholars to have bonding time with their parents.
This time for cross-examinations. Okay, my first question says, when is your visitation days at school?
On average, visitation days are supposed to be in the middle of the term, not in the beginning or the end.
How many
in the middle. Every school is mandated to have one visitation day in a full term. One visitation day is not actually enough to actually understand what is actually.
Thank you. If the parents fail to see their own talent of their own children's talent during holidays, how do you believe that they will see their children's
because
talent?
their talents are not exploited.
Okay, thank you.
In school, it's why we see football. It's why we see volleyball.
So are we giving the parents 2 holidays, giving the parents and children 2 holidays, or to visitation day, or to
we are not giving visitation day and the weekend to actually advocate
very different.
How many holidays do we carry in the school?
We actually told you that their average 9 months actually stay at school and 4 months stay at home.
So you believe you can live in a world whereby your friend is a mother parented child, whereby she's going to go, money this, money that, money this. Now good thing I'm expecting money on this thing.
This is the one we attend to, because if it's a parent, you're actually going to see that that's their obligation, not anything else.
Thank you so much, man. I'll begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. So they come up and ask us, can kids lie on a pole? Of course kids can lie on a pole, but if parents have bonded with their kids, a parent will be in position to understand that my kid is lying and they're not in proper conditions. And they come and they tell us that they will not spend, like, it's not compulsory for all the weekends. They come up and tell us that they're going to use only 2 weekends. But we see parents have failed to use the whole holiday. Will they be able to use only these 2 weekends to bond up with their kids? The whole holiday of at least 1 month has failed, so will these 2 weeks be efficient? So they come up and tell us that. They come and tell us that parents are going to come and help their kids with the co-curricular activities at school. Parents fail to help their kids with holiday work, so they can make time for co-curricular activities when they actually fail to help kids with homework. That's something they don't get a point today's debate. They come up and tell us that bonding should be there, but we are saying that in their world, bonding has failed on VDs because it's not that VDs are known for bonding. It has failed in holidays just because the holidays are not made for that. But they're going to use only 2 days to bond. How can a person, like, how can you relate with your friend for only 2 days? Are those 2 days going to be efficient enough so as you can bond with your kid? So they come up and tell us that, is there a social anxiety in school, in homes? We come up and tell them yes, because they're having narcissistic parents. And these narcissistic parents have led to social anxiety at home. So when they tell us that they're going to only use two weekends to help their kids, to use these 2 weekends to help their kids with the social anxiety and the depression. Well, they want to tell us that in their world they are coming up to bond with their kids, but it's not a bad idea from their kids. But what we are trying to tell them, that we are fighting the same issue. We are trying to stop the issue of mental health. But what we want to introduce to them is that for us, we're not going to use only these 2 days, because we've seen that the holidays are not efficient and these 2 days won't be more efficient. So what we are going to do is we are going to engage with the teachers so that these teachers help with their kids, not the parents, because we have seen that the parents have not that been efficient to the kids. So they come up and tell us that VDs are not going to be used. So we accept that. But will these parents get access to their kids? First of all, that some parents overwork. We've seen that some parents are so narcissistic that all the love and attention they have is for themselves. They don't actually care for their kids. So that is something they don't cater for in today's debate. They come up and tell us that. No, we come up and tell them that we are not going to use these 2 days. We are not going to use these 2 days. Instead, we are going to use the teachers or maybe the psychology teachers to help these kids bond, because all in all what we are going to do is to fight mental health. Because even in the introduction of this weekend to bond with their kids, all we are fighting for, all we want in the end is to fight these mental health issues in the world. So we are going to use the teachers, not the parents. So they tell us that they are going to use these 2 days. This not even in the middle of the term, but the first weekend and the last weekend. As in, you told us that kids spend 9 months at school. So you're going to tell me I'm going to use those 2 days to tell you all the problems I'm experiencing in the term. Will you be able to help me with all the problems in the 9 months? Will you be able to tell me that? So they come up and tell us that. Sorry. Ready for processing. 30 seconds.
So my examination begins in 3, 2. And please note their answers. First question: are you aware that the resolution says weekends but not all weekends?
Yes, but you're telling me are these 2
Yes or no,
weekends?
please? Yes or no, please? So, how does your side of the house characterize bonding time?
Bonding time is where parents get time with their kids to bond so that they can get to know themselves.
Very good. So, are you aware that parents can sacrifice anything for their children?
Not narcissistic parents, which of the kids have.
So you mean in the status quo, the majority of parents are narcissistic?
No, but you're saying that you're not going to take it by the kids.
Okay, it's very fine. Thank you very much. So by believing that parents can sacrifice it for their children, you also believe that the bonding time we have time to carry out this, right?
One, I told you that narcissistic crisis,
Okay, no.
which you don't understand.
I don't have time, please. So, how does your side of the house solve the problems presented by
We
team
are
farmers?
telling you that the problems are going to be solved by teachers because parents have failed.
Okay. Are schools dumping sites?
They're not that because we have
Thank you
failed
very much. So you believe parents should get more involved in their children's studies?
They should
Thank you
inform
very
us
much.
this weekend that they're telling us. Thank you.
In the first half of my debate, I'll be eradicated. They come up here to present to us a case that is based on minority. Number one, they were supposed to show us that they already have enough bonding time inside at home. That is something they will not tell us because it's 9 months at school and 4 months at home, right? They were supposed to show us there is no value of the bonding time that we are presenting in the Saturday school, and the 2 weeks before and the 2 weeks after. They were supposed to show us how they are going to achieve the bonding in the Saturday school better than we are, right? Understand that they were supposed to show us that they were supposed to show us the negative effects of the bonding at school, and they were supposed to show us that the narcissistic parents are the majority in this report, right? But understand, judges, there are things that they are talking about in this so-called paper. They are telling us that they are going to engage the parents in the holiday. They're leaving them out of the biggest part of their lives of their children because it's 9 months at school and 4 months at home. This is the biggest part of the life of the child's life, right? So you're only giving access of the child to the child, of access of the parent to the child for only 4 months. Understand that this is the time when the children are most inactive, right? Understand that this is the time when the kids are given time to rest from the school activities they've been having for the past 3 months. And understand that this is the time when the parents are working so hard to gain the money to pay the school fees for the next term. And that is something that they're not really relevant on their side, right? They talk about that, they say that parents can understand when someone is lying on phone. But is this really error? Is it really accountable? We don't even trust the voice that I'm using on the phone to justify that I'm really lying. Is the phone a lie detector in the end of the world? They're telling us that 1 month of holiday has already failed. That is why we are supplementing it with the 2 weeks before and the 2 weeks after. Perhaps that it can be more effective, right? They're telling us that there's failure of bonding on VD and holidays, right? Understand that we are trying to supplement on the VD and holidays, right? And number 4, they're telling us that parents are overworking, but they are working even more in the holidays to gain the money that's going to pay for the school fees for the next time, and they have to also get the money to help them and pay for the food and the rent and the electricity and everything else during the holidays, right? And understand that the dependency of the days of the holidays increases when the kids come back home, right? So understand, they are telling us that they are talking about narcissistic parents, but this is the minority of the group, right? How many narcissistic parents do we even have in Uganda? How many have we diagnosed yet, right? They don't even give us any statistics or proof what they are talking about, right? They are telling us that they're giving them, there's not enough time for us to help with the anxiety, right? But understand that anxiety and depression can be caused by homesickness, which they don't even know. They don't really even know the causes of the problem that they're judging in this debate, right? So now the points of clash. For the last bit of my debate, I've been handling the points of clash. Accountability. They just understand that the aftermaths of someone failing to work in education, right? And if a parent can come to school and see that their child has failed to work along in education, they'll see that they're good in sports, they're good in inventions, they're good in something else, so that they can plan for the future. But this is only able for them to see when they engage into the holiday, right? But inside of the house, they don't even give us a way forward on how the parents will even know the progress their children are making. They're only talking about the teachers, right? Number 2, let me define what a teacher. A teacher is someone who wants performance, who wants profit. These teachers only want to see the kids perform and get the best grades. They don't even care about how much they're going to be working in football, right? If I told the child is not good in football, they're going to just pressure them to work harder in education because that's the only part where the teacher is favored. This their way forward cannot be effective in this so-called way forward. But I just understand that's why the house is effective, accountable, and implementable.
30 seconds per time, please.
Starts now.
panel, let me show you the reason why we won this debate, even before I show you the reasons why they lose this debate. The main point in their debate is accountability. They are saying that these 2 days are enough for these people. They are focusing on projects, on co-curricular activities. While in my case, we are presenting a case whereby we want these people to bond. We want these people to get to know each other, as the resolution is stating. Time for these people to spend more time together. Now, let me show you why the negator side does not win. They had clashes, contradictions, unanswered questions, or even questions that they answered but answered them to our benefit. Number one, let me show you clash point number one. They say that they believe that the parents cannot supervise these children at home, whereas they give us the statistics that these children spend 4 months at home. If these parents cannot supervise these kids for 4 months at home, how will they do this for 2 weekends in a term? Then they justify that they can't bond and see talents, but then they can do this in 2 weeks. They can bond and see talents at the same time, while they cannot do this during BDs. Then we told them they had contradictions. The resolution says weekends, and they are saying, okay, fine, they are saying just 2 weekends. But then we bring to them to their notice that even VDs are 2 weekends, because there are schools that have 2 weekends, and we are catering for all children. So we want, since children have weekends and they have visitations there, and these, children can use all this to bond with their parents, to know themselves better. There is no need for 2 more weekends, which are not going to do anything to this. Then they are supporting, their whole case runs on projects. While we are saying that the resolution says it wants bonding time more. So they are bringing a work of a teacher to a work of a parent, which are two different things. So they ask the question that kids spend 9 months at school and 4 months at home. But then again, the 9 months they spend at school, they just want to remove 2 days for these people to bond instead of the 4 months that they spend at home for which they would have used. Then they are saying that there is schools dumping sites. That was their biggest question. Then that is why we told you they have weekends for these kids to go back home where they belong. Then we talked about narcissistic parents, and then they were like, all parents in Uganda are narcissistic, but then we are catering for all these people. We want the parents that are narcissistic, we want the parents that are not narcissistic. Are we catering for both cases? Are all parents and children wanting the narcissistic kinds and not the narcissistic kinds? Then they talked about homesickness. Then we showed them that we have visitation days, we have holidays. So the main reason why they do not win, they do not show us the impact that if these 2 weekends are not good, what is it going to affect our children? They do not show that to us. They do not show us the agency, whereas we show you that these kids need to bond with their parents. They do not show us they do not even say that, they do bring problems that even teachers can solve. Well, we say that even parents have more time to solve these problems.